bana betu bamu Kasai, bana basanga lubangu moyo wenu. AFC M23 ujimunjila ne afukulula bumuntu bwa Kasai mukamujima kenda kujula bujimi kuibaka ma infrastructure moderne ne programme de développement durable jilongolo lai bakuto akijila twasa akijila bana betu.
Well, Lawrence Kanyuka, the spokesperson of the AFC M23, released a statement noting that AFC M23 is now ready to expand militarily up to Kasai region. Now, Kasai is not just any other region in DRC. This is the region that the president, Felix Tshisekedi, comes from. Now, that has been alarming. In this video, I'm going to tell you about that statement that was released by the spokesperson of the AFC M23, as well as in this video, I'm going to tell you about the feasibility of that maneuver by the AFC M23. Is it a realistic move by the M23 right at this point, or it is just a diplomatic or political statement by the AFC M23 to pressure the Kinshasa government to continue to give more concessions to the AFC M23? Well, this is Bonafide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on Eastern DRC, you get notified as soon as possible. We are ready to continue with the military expansion up to Kasai. That is the statement that has been given by the spokesperson of the AFC M23, noting that the AFC M23 has not stopped on its vision to expand up to Kinshasa, but right now, the AFC M23 spokesperson Lawrence Kanyuka notes specifically Kasai region. Now, as I started by saying, Kasai is not just any other region in DRC. This is the region that the president Felix Tshisekedi comes from, as well as this is a region that has been away from the scope of the AFC M23, because historically the AFC M23 has operated almost exclusively in North Kivu and particularly around Rushuru, Masisi, and Nyiragongo. Now, noting that the AFC M23 is about to expand up to Kasai brings up a lot of logistical challenges also to the AFC M23, because this is a new region. Politically, what will the people of Kasai say regarding the expansion of the AFC M23 up to that particular region? Of course, being the region that has more support for Felix Tshisekedi as his home ground is going to be a different political game for the AFC M23. Most of the eastern provinces that the AFC M23 now controls are provinces that were not so much supportive of the current regime, and it was much easier for them to take over these regions because of the assistance of some people who were not supportive of the current regime of DRC. Now, if you're talking about Kasai, that is a whole new ballgame. But if this is so, if the AFC M23 for once decides to stretch its military capacity to Kasai region, this will stretch the FARDC thin by forcing them to defend multiple fronts. The decision by the AFC M23 to start marching toward the Kasai region will create a national level pressure on Kinshasa by destabilizing areas closer to central DRC. This will shift the attention from the Eastern Front, where they are currently facing joint pressure. Now, this is just a political statement as at now, because we've not heard of any military movements or any military projection for the M23 to actually start targeting the Kasai region. And therefore, it can be termed as a political statement by the AFC M23, noting that the M23 is portraying that particular aura that they can reach anywhere in DRC, that they are no longer just a regional force, but a national threat, and further, that negotiation is becoming more necessary. Perhaps it is also important to know that this pressure is coming at a time when the DRC and Rwanda have signed the Regional Economic Integration Framework, and of course the M23 is now left in the middle, and that Doha peace process between the M23 and the DRC government, the FARDC, is what is now being looked at if you're talking about the remaining stumbling block for the Regional Economic Integration Framework to work. That means that all eyes are on Doha for a deal to be signed so that this economic framework can start operating. And well, despite this being a political statement as it is right now from the AFC M23, it is also important to know that the AFC M23 has not yet reached its peak performance in terms of expanding militarily in Eastern DRC. Despite there being aerial bombardment from the FARDC towards the M23, It is also important to note that the FCM23 has been announcing time and time again that it has recruited new members into the force, that it is retraining members to do policing as well as other military roles in different parts where they are managing in Eastern DRC. We've seen some fortification of the territories that the M23 is now claiming in Eastern DRC. And therefore, the FCM23 is just doing what any other military will do in terms of taking over territories. When they reach a particular point, they take a strategic pause. And in this strategic pause, they recruit, they retrain, and then they re strategize on how further to expand. Therefore, as political as this statement will be, this is also a sound warning against the DRC government that the M23 can actually expand beyond what it is right now. Well, I will continue to keep you informed and updated of the latest of what will come out from Eastern DRC right now that the FCM23 has threatened to expand to Kasai. Keep it bona fide.